Can you hear me now? Okay, good.
Hello, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Redeemed Christian Church of God, Jubilee Christian Center, Coventry. And the actual show you are watching right about now is Jubilee Sports Extra. I'd like to welcome you to this program this evening. And I'd like to give honor, before I say any other thing, to whom honor is due. This program is being powered by Jubilee Christian Center, Coventry, the house of prayer. The church is actually not boring. We actually do exciting things. And today we are on Sports Channel. All right, so I want to encourage everybody to feel free to invite your friend. Click on the share button and share this event to people around you. Tell your friends, your family, tell your parents, tell your siblings. Let your friends know. Let a fellow church member know. Someone who is out there, send the link to them. Share this program to them and let them feel free to join in. It's going to be heated up right in this place this evening. Okay. So my name is Emeka, and I'm going to be your presenter for this show and the moderator as well this evening. Presenting alongside with me, I've got some very, very interesting, reputable, and very honorable pundits right here with me to present this show this evening. So I'm going to be giving them an opportunity to introduce themselves. All they have to tell you is their first name and the team they support. Okay? Just their first name and the team they support. So that when you see them or you want to comment or you want to call in, because we're going to be calling in shortly, you would know who you are referring to if you want to share something with somebody or make a comment on what somebody said. Okay? So I'm going to be starting from my immediate left. So if you can just pick your microphone and just tell the audience your first name and the team you support, and then we go like that around and it comes back to me.
All right, thank you. My name is Oluwaseun. I was a Chelsea fan on the free market transfer now, but obviously tonight I'm going to support Chelsea.
Okay. So Oluwaseun is supporting Chelsea. Yes, sir.
Hi everyone, I'm Chigo Zero. You can call me Chigo. I'm an Arsenal fan. Arsenal till I die, as always.
All right. So that's an Arsenal fan, and that's Gozier. So I want to shorten the name so that you'll be able to, it'll be easier for us. So let's say this is Sheun and this is Gozier, okay? And Sheun is a Chelsea fan for tonight, he said.
I'm not sure he knows where he belongs.
No, with his jersey, you will know that, yes, he has made up his mind, finally.
All right, so we have Sheun Chelsea, and we have Gozier Arsenal fan. All right, to my...
Okay, hi everyone. My name is Franklin, and so far JCC is concerned, I'm the ambassador of Man City. Anything about Man City, just relate it to me. I will tell you better.
I can see the sky blue on you.
We always say blue everywhere we are.
All right, so that's Franklin. So Franklin is Man City. Okay, yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone. My name is Lebia, and I am here for Chelsea. I mean,
right.
It's good there's one woman representing.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, isn't it?
Uh-huh. Yeah. The ladies representative in the ladies' corner. Oh, that's for Chelsea as well. All right. Okay. If you want to comment, just before we start discussing further this evening, if you want to make any comments, use the comment box section. Feel free to put anything you want to put there, and we'll be able to read as we progress this evening what you've just said. And I'm going to read out a number for you to call when we get to the calling time. But just before then, I wouldn't read out the number, so nobody starts calling before then, if that's all right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to start the discussion right now. The first question I would like to ask is with respect to last season's football in Europe. Okay, I would like us to evaluate last season. Generally, on a general scale, what can you say about football in Europe last season? Did any team impress you very well? You know, what was football like last season in Europe to you? If I would allow the Arsenal fan, I'll allow Gozier to make a start.
Yeah, so I will say I was impressed with the Italian teams. I think you saw Italian teams going to the Conference League final, the Europa League final. You saw Fiorentina in the Conference League final versus West Ham. and I think who was it in the Europa League final? I forgot him. But also you
Is
have,
that Roma?
yeah, I think it was. Then you have Inter Milan in the Champions League final. So shout out to the Italian teams for what they're doing.
Yeah.
I know it's not been spoken about enough, but even though they lost the 3 finals, it's good to commend them for how far Italian football has come.
Fantastic. And did Napoli impress you last season?
Yes, yes. Napoli really impressed me. I said Napoli alongside Arsenal
Right.
impressed me last season.
You must.
Napoli,
Arsenal must come into the discussion.
yeah,
isn't
Napoli
it?
alongside. Napoli, like Osimhen he's something else. He's definitely going to be around the 150 million pound striker for say this summer. I don't think any team will go for him because no one can cough up that money at this point in time. So I feel it's probably like next summer you'll probably see a team drop close or around that amount because I think Napoli are really strong-headed negotiators, so they will make sure they get the money that they want for him. So
Fantastic.
I was really, really impressed with them from Kvaratskhelia,
Yes.
Osimhen.
Yeah.
They really did well. They really did well.
Yeah.
Yes.
Fantastic. All right. Okay. Franklin, evaluation of last season. What can you say?
Before I say what I want to say, I was expecting to see, because it's partial having 2 Chelsea fans. I wanted to see Man U fan because I have a lot of questions for them. But before that one come up, I want to really comment on Arsenal.
Okay.
They really impressed me last season because nobody expected that coming. Nobody saw that coming because the way they just, even though they lost the league, they lost the league to me because
Thank you.
I was not missing for enough to dash it to them. Even though they just dominated most part of the league, but at least they tried. Apart from that, I was so impressed with Newcastle because the way they pulled weight last season was so impressive. At least the last 2 seasons, they come from a second last 10th of the table, coming to play Champions League is quite impressive. So that's my take on.
Okay, can I ask you a question on that? Right, that Man City won last season's Premier League and even won a treble. Okay, let's focus on the Premier League. That they won the Premier League last season. Would you say it was due to their being extra good, or because of the inconsistency of Arsenal?
Okay, coming to that, at the middle of last season, I was having a discussion with Arsenal fan. I told him one thing, that I'm not fighting the league with you.
Okay.
So far you Arsenal, I'm not fighting the league with you. Where I will talk with you is at the end of the season. Because one thing Man City has is they have this confidence. Man City, they cannot pressurize you. They will not even have to fight with you over anything. If you see Man City ball, they don't fight. Even when they are losing, they just play their normal game. That's one thing with Real Madrid.
Even with Haaland fights. So.
Haaland is doing his work. That's when they signed him. Had he didn't do that, he would have been a waste. Even when they signed him, someone met me that imagine we just wasted money to sign Haaland. He wants to waste his career. That Guardiola will not play him. That is not in the pattern of Guardiola. I told the guy, see, Guardiola can form any formation. He can play any formation.
Okay.
If he has no 9, he can play first 9. So in some cases, he will not even use 9. He will just want to rotate.
Yeah.
So Guardiola can use anybody. So Man City, they have that experience. Check for the past 3 seasons, the way they collected it from Liverpool. That's why I know Liverpool fans, they will laugh at Arsenal because Arsenal felt what they have been feeling since. So it's not by yes, I know it's by grace, but with hard work.
Yeah. If I can add to what he said, I think the key word there is pressure. At the end of the season, I think you saw Arsenal, who was like, I think the youngest team or the second youngest team to Southampton. I think it was between both of them who was the youngest team in the league. And for the youngest or the second youngest team in the league to be competing with Man City for the league till the end of the season, that's commendable in its own right.
Yes,
but also, you can also say that Arsenal, you can see the lack of experience of feeling that pressure. But Man City have handled the pressure like pretty much
Couple of years now.
couple of years now. They've won the league 3 years in a row, I
Yeah.
think.
Yeah.
Now.
Yes.
3 years they won the league 3 years. So you can see handling pressure at the latter part of the season is no issue for them. So that is the key word there is pressure.
Yes.
Handling pressure, yeah.
Yes, one thing that did to Arsenal is that pressure, because most of their players, except those that came from Man City, which are Gabriel Jesus and Zichenko, apart from two of them, none of them has ever experienced that Premier League trophy. They have not. So it's part of that pressure is what, in fact, is the main root of their failure. Because at start till the middle, they performed well. They performed absolutely well. It was when everything was hot, because when Premier League used to be sweet, it's always at the ending. That's when you will now know these people, they are really good. And they are not good. So pressure is one of the things that cost us now the league.
Okay, so we are agreeing all together, or well, between the both of you, that what happened was pressure. It wasn't as, Man City did not win the Premier League last season because they were extra good, particularly, or because Arsenal were inconsistent, but more so because of the pressure that was on Arsenal for a length of time.
I won't agree with that.
Okay, Shane want to contradict that, yeah?
To be very candid, I won't agree with the fact that Man City won the league because they are extraordinarily good. To me, Arsenal is a bit of you guys are talking about pressure. No, I won't pick it from that way. I saw it from a different dimension. Like, one of the factors that makes Arsenal lose the league was fatigue. At the end of the season, if you discover, most of Arsenal players, their first 11, the like of Thomas Partey, they are getting tired. The likes of Bukayo Saka is getting tired.
But they brought Jorginho in, right?
Yeah, that was Jorginho could not. He doesn't start the league with them. He came in as a summer player, and you can't expect a summer player to just blend in like that. Despite the fact that he's playing pretty well in Chelsea, despite the fact that he's playing pretty well
in Italy.
He's playing pretty well in EPL. That doesn't make him to come from Chelsea and just pick up in Arsenal just like that. You get? So I felt like fatigue is part of the reason why Arsenal lost the league. That is one. Secondly, and I will actually commend Arsenal, to be very candid. I will commend them based on the fact that these boys are chickens. To be very candid.
Chicken. I feel that was a backhanded comment. Chickens in what way? Explain yourself, please.
What I mean by chickens is most of them are still very young. The experience is not there. The age-wise experience, exposure is not really there. Like, you can't compare the likes of any striker except Gabriel Jesus. You can't compare any striker in Arsenal with a person like Alan, like that. That's what I mean.
Yeah, fair
You
enough.
can't compare any of the midfielder from Arsenal with the like of Godogan or David Silva or Kevin De Bruyne.
Yeah.
You get? So you can't compare all those guys with any of Arsenal midfield. So lack of experience, lack of exposure, fatigue is actually, I felt like at the center of this, the summer, when the summer market was open, Arteta should have buy a lot of player. Because at that point, Arsenal was doing pretty well, very, very good, pretty okay. As at that point, he should have looked. Arsenal doesn't have second 11. Arsenal fan can justify that. They don't have second 11.
At the moment, we do.
No, now we are saying now, but then I was talking about then. Then you don't have second 11.
Yeah.
In Kita, if Bukayo Saka is not playing, what's he called? Trosan. I want to remember his name.
Saka Martinelli.
Okay, like Saka, Martinelli are not in the team. Tell me the player you want to use. You've got no player, my brother. So all those things are actually the factors.
Smith Rowe and some other.
All those guys are boys.
Sorry to cut you. What you said is actually true, but coming to that lack of experience, come on, they are actually young, but they were good.
I never dispute the fact that
because
they are not
if you see that aspect of experience, I don't think any of Newcastle fans has ever touched, or Newcastle players ever touched Premier League.
Yeah. In the case of
No, I mean Newcastle now.
In the case of Newcastle, what happened to them is determination.
because I came to check Newcastle. How many players do they have? How many well-recognized players do they have? But they did absolutely well. So Arsenal now, coming to that fatigue, remember, at a time last season, Man City suffered it. Even Champions League final, that De Bruyne has to leave the
But Man
pitch.
City they have alternative.
They have quality. They have quality in depth.
On
They
the
have
bench,
quality in depth. Yeah.
Imagine
they-
Foden. Foden is not in first 11 in Man City. Mahrez is not. If Mahrez had been in Arsenal, he would have been their captain.
Yes,
If Foden
sorry,
is in
sorry,
Chelsea,
sorry.
he would have been
Fair enough.
one of the first 11.
Yes,
Fair enough.
but sorry to cut you short, because we are saying this they have, but still remember at a time Guardiola have to sub Walker to Rico Ruiz, a
Because-
boy that was brought up from academy, because it's not all about big names.
Okay.
It's who can deliver, because that guy, he don't have the experience. He just came
Okay.
from academy and he
Okay.
performed well.
Okay. Let me just pause out there. So I can see that from what we are saying, we're kind of raising the fact that there were factors that generally contributed to what we saw happen last season in the Premier League. So it's not a question of one particular thing leading to what we saw. So some persons have said it was a case of pressure. Some of us have said it's a case of depth or lack of experience, which, well, everybody can argue that. I can see the reason why we would say, the things we've said so far. Okay, but let's move on from there. Please, viewers, feel free to put your comments down if you want to, say anything on what you are hearing us discuss this evening. What was your view, just before we get to that, what was your view of, what happened last season in the Premier League and in the whole of Europe? Did any team impress you particularly? Which team was that? Feel free to mention that team on the comment box. And Labia will be helping us to read out, our comments when you put it down there in a minute. But just before then, we're going to be letting you know the number to call in if you want to, say one or two things on the topics we are discussing in here this evening. She's going to be calling out the number, so feel free to call in right after now, and we'll be happy to take your own views and comments. Labia, please.
Okay, so the number you need to call will be 074 174 28537. The number is 074 174 28537. So if you want to send a chat, or if you want to call in directly, we'll get to your point. Or if you want to also comment on YouTube, you can also put your comments there and we'll read it out.
Okay. So Labia, if you don't mind to jump on the social media accounts and help us to pick what people are saying. If anything comes in, we can read it out.
Yep, and then try and share the link. As much as
Yes. All right. Okay. The next thing I want us to, lady and gentlemen, to touch on again is last season, which team would you say was the biggest flop? Okay. So just last season that just finished, which team, and when you say your team, I would like you to say why. Okay, and understand that when you've said your reason, people may want to contradict or support your view. Okay, I can see Gozier raising. Okay, Sheun, and then Gozier.
Yeah. To be very serious, I would have picked Chelsea to be the biggest flop of last season. But a lot of factors work against them. The whole team. To be very serious, Chelsea first 11 went on injury. Right from their keeper Mendy, the captain was on injury. It got to a point Koulibaly's Thiago Silva was also on injury. Reece James went on injury. N'Golo Kante went on injury. Jorginho went on injury, came back. Kovacic went on injury. Loftus-Cheek went on injury. Havertz went on injury. Pulisic was on injury. Almost all the first 11 went on injury. So that was the factor that actually placed against them. I was telling some people some times ago, like, if those boys were actually not having injury at that point, Chelsea might not have ended the way they ended.
They even changed their coach.
Yeah. Like, in the case for changing their coach is actually not because they wanted Lampard, but because Lampard was part of the payroll as at then. So, and as at then, Chelsea knew the fact that they are not going to win the league again. They just need someone to manage it for the end of the season. So that was why they had to go and bring Lampard back, because he was on a payroll. You know, when he came to Chelsea then, he was on 2 years contract. So after his contract, Chelsea wanted to pay him off. But Lampard decided not to pay he doesn't accept the contract. Like, he doesn't want them to pay him off.
Okay.
So Chelsea was paying, Lampard was paying, Chelsea team was paying Lampard like the normal way they are paying their coach. So as at the time Chelsea need a coach, they knew that they have someone on their payroll, which is Lampard. So they have to go and bring him out, bro. Come back. Come and complete your work.
Yeah.
So that was actually why Lampard was back in Chelsea. Not because they knew Lampard was not a good coach, to be very serious. I don't know how will a good coach played almost 10, 15 matches without having a win.
Okay, Sheun, so which team now? Are you saying it's Chelsea that was the flop of last season?
No.
So which team is your...
Leicester.
Leicester
City is the biggest flop of last season.
Why?
Imagine Leicester that won Premiership, I think 5 seasons ago or 6 seasons ago, if I will
With
if I'll be
Kante, Mahrez, that team, right?
Even when Kante, Mahrez, all of them left, Leicester City was still able to hold,
the ground.
Yeah, the ground, not even winning the league again. But they were still able to hold the ground. Playing big teams like playing Man U in their both home and away, winning, playing Chelsea, win home, lose away, you get.
Yeah.
They are still, at that point I was thinking, as a Leicester City, even if they are not going to win the league, not for relegation, bro. That's a big disaster to
Okay. So Sheun is saying Leicester. Okay, Gozie, and then we'll come to Franklin. Gozie, who was your flop of last season?
I think he's trying to deflect the attention from Chelsea. But honestly, like, in Premier League, after you play every match day, they show the table.
Yes.
They show the top half.
Yes.
Then they show the bottom half.
Yes.
Chelsea fall under the bottom half. How much did you spend in the summer before you got into last season?
Hundreds of millions.
I would like to even talk about the fact that...
Sorry,
sorry.
Let him finish.
So that's the thing. Like, how much did you spend in the summer? Quite a lot of money. You got Fofana, the centre back, for around 70 million, 80 million. Around 72 million pounds or 80 million or something like that. But yes, like, it just has to be Chelsea. Honestly, Chelsea in 12th. I came in here thinking it was 10th, but I now remembered, wait, it was actually 12th. 12th position.
Okay.
The lowest we finished was 8. Arsenal finished was 8 in our worst moment, and people were bantering us, but 12th. And you're trying to deflect it to Leicester. Nah, I can't have that. No.
Okay,
sorry. I will just have to
feedback on that.
Shift one or two things with what Guzi just said. Like, to be very, very, very candid, I'm not trying to deflect. I'm trying to justify what happened last season. For a team of Chelsea like Chelsea, no team in England, no team in the Europe, where the first 11 went on injury and still be able to, hold on to the ground the way Chelsea held last season. I'm not defending Chelsea to be like, I'm not trying to defend them, to be very candid.
Okay.
But the fact remains the same. Like, I've mentioned all their fourth 11, even part of their second 11 that went on injury.
Were injured.
No team in Premiership, bro, can do that. No team. Like, Reece James, all of them, just mentioned. Kai Havertz, all of them went on injury. Conte went on injury for like 6 months, came back, went again. Lutoshe came back, he went on injury. Kovacic has been on and off injury.
Well,
Asabakuleta, all of them went on injury. Thiago Silva, it was at the end of the season. Okay. My brother, just tell me, which team in Premiership or in Europe entirely can lose their first 11? When Mendy went on injury, he came back, he never regained his fitness again. He was not Chelsea's first keeper again when he came back from injury. So these actually are factors. Okay. But in a team of Leicester, like I said, they never lost any of their players on injury. But look at where they ended. They went back on relegation. We are even talking, let Arsenal lose. See, Arsenal lost just Gabriel Jesus. They felt it. Even Saliba went on injury. They felt it. Look at it. See, I'm not defending Chelsea, but
you told me you were talking about quality in depth. You were talking about quality in depth for Arsenal earlier. Yeah. you guys, if Thiago Silva gets injured, you can bring in the Fofana who you bought for 72 million, as it was said. We don't have a 72 million centre back to bring in
We bought
after
him then.
Saliba. If Saliba injures,
Yeah,
we don't have that option.
Yeah, Chelsea boss.
That's why we brought him by now.
Chelsea boss Fofana because we were being capped at the camp. Like we've got no options again. We need a defender. Koulibaly was on injury. Thiago Silva was on injury. It's only Chalobah that we have at that moment. So we need someone to pair with Chalobah. So Chelsea doesn't have option. Either we buy it £80 or not. This guy is just coming from a different league to Premiership.
Who was that?
Fofana.
No, he came from
sorry.
Leicester.
He's coming from a different team rather to Chelsea.
Yeah.
So you can't expect him to just come from a different team and got into Chelsea and blend like that. Just like the way I said about Jorginho. You can't expect Jorginho to just leave Chelsea, go to Arsenal and pick up that just like that. It's not done. It's just few out of all the players that are coming to different teams.
Okay. So
Chelsea is not the biggest flop of last season.
Okay. Let's hold it. Let's hold it, guys. Yeah, so for Sheun is Leicester, for Gozier is Chelsea, and for Franklin.
Okay. For my own side, you are picking on Leicester City. I will say what happened to Leicester is what that can happen to any club, because Monaco at a time experienced it when they lifted the Ligue 1. They sold all their players. They sold Mbappe. They sold Mendy. They sold Bernardo Silva. They sold most of their best 11.
Fabinho.
So after that, the next season they have to struggle. So for Leicester to have carried the league to 2016 and still retained in Premier League till now, they have tried. So because you are picking on Leicester City. For me, I will ask you, why do you spend all those money you spent buying players, and you are still complaining that those players you bought went on injury? Because you spent a lot last season buying players. So after all your spend, does that mean that you did not come down to analyze your signing, or you just want to because this person is good, you bought it without checking record? Because having injured players or having some issues in your team can happen to any club.
Okay, so
at a time, Liverpool experienced it last season. Even though their main problem was selling Mane, because they never knew the importance of money in that club until they sold him and now realized their mistake. But I still pick on Chelsea as the most flopped.
That's what I'm coming. So who's your own team? The flop of the season last season. Okay, so Chelsea. Yeah?
Yes, Chelsea.
And what's your reason?
That's what I said. Them giving me reason that they went on injury. At least you have academy. It's not must that you will play all your best players. You can switch. It's not at the time. Was it last 3 seasons? Man City experienced that when all their players went injury. I'm telling you, De Bruyne went on injury. Company went on injury when he was still there. He went on injury. Fernandinho went on injury. Most of their key players went on injury. This guy had no other.
You are just
Okay.
trying.
All of them are club.
Frank,
all of them are club.
Frank, to be very candid between myself and you, see, you are just trying to pick up. You are just trying to pick up a failure where there is none. See, let me explain to you what happened. Just like I said, the money Chelsea spent not because they don't wanted to spend the money. They are not happy spending the money. They spend it because they don't have option. I'm telling you again, my brother. Chelsea lost their first 11. I repeat, first 11 on injury. No team in Premiership can do that. First 11. I just mentioned to you, right from their keeper to their top striker, all of them went on injury. And those, as at then, even you talk about academy. Did you remember that as a last season, there was a point Jesse was playing most of the academy, the likes of All became one of the biggest player in Chelsea, a boy from academy. Don't forget that. And Chelsea was doing that because they don't have options. So when the summer transfer opened, they don't have options. And okay, this Chelsea doesn't even care again. They keep buying whatever they believe they could buy as at there. So that was what happened. So you picking Chelsea as the biggest flop, they're good. That's your own belief. But look at the factors that surround Chelsea flop as a last thing. Those are what you have to look at. Factors that surrounded the flopping of Chelsea. Look at it.
Okay.
No team can lose their first 11.
One of the mistake I would say is a mistake that Chelsea did, or if I be Lampard, one of the mistakes Lampard did was to come back to Chelsea. Because no, forget about the payroll. We are talking about record because this guy is busy destroying his CV. Because what Lampard did last season was very, very bad to his CV. Because for him to play 10 matches, lose 6, draw 3, win only 1 out of 10 matches, it's not good.
See.
Because coming.
See, Franklin.
Okay.
Franklin, like I told you.
Yes, that's that's where I'm going because you see that during his time in Everton, he never performed well. Even though you have lost hope in the league, but you still need at least to play conference league at least.
Okay.
So at least you're supposed to, if you don't have mind of buying coach, use one of your player or use your assistant coach. You made him coach than bringing a Lampard to come and be spoiling. I love Lampard a lot, but what he did last season as a player, but what he did last season, just give me a second thought about him.
Franklin, like
Imagine, Company, he started as a playing coach to a full coach in championship. Now he has won a record to himself by promoting a club to premiership. Imagine. So as a club now, would you prefer to, if their CV are to be placed on your desk, would you prefer to sign a Lampard or would you prefer to sign Company?
Franklin, like I earlier said, you are not getting the points or the factors that bring Lampard back to Chelsea. Lampard came back to Chelsea not because Chelsea wanted him. Lampard doesn't come to Chelsea just because Chelsea wants a miracle to happen at that point. Lampard came to Chelsea just because Chelsea doesn't have option. You as an employer, you have someone on your pay slips. You are paying him and he's not doing anything for you. And that post became vacant. What do you think you will do? You won't have option than to bring that person to come and cover up because you are paying him. That was exactly what happened to Lampard. Lampard was still part of the Chelsea payroll as at the time Chelsea need a manager. He's just collecting money for nothing's sake. Maybe you are not getting it. Chelsea is just paying Lampard based on the contract Chelsea have with Lampard. So Chelsea doesn't have option than to bring him and complete. See, the work you are collecting, you've been paid for. Come and complete it. Either Chelsea, as at then, I think Chelsea was on 10 when Lampard came. Chelsea was on 10 on the table. So was it 9? Yeah, 9. So no miracle is going to happen again. Arsenal, Man City, they were at the top of their peak. Like, they were really doing good. So nothing can ever bring Chelsea back to the top 4 as at then. So Chelsea doesn't have option now. Okay, we are paying you constantly, so come and complete your work. That was exactly what brought Lampard.
Okay. Let's hold it. Let's hold our thoughts there. So we've all mentioned our teams who were the flops of last season. So for Sheun, it's Leicester. For Gozier, it's Chelsea, and for Franklin, it's Chelsea.
Sorry, my last another flop I think I have is Arsenal. Arsenal is another bigger. Arsenal is another big flop.
No, you cannot score Arsenal a flop.
I will call them a flop. Do you know what it means for it? That's the question I need to ask. See, Chelsea and Arsenal, the only thing that differentiates Chelsea and Arsenal last season was because Arsenal is going to Champions League. Chelsea is not going. That's all. FA,
Wait, sorry.
No, I have to because he's coming.
I
have to comment on this now. I have to end this here.
Okay.
I have to end this here. For the fact that you're calling us now, you should be ashamed. I'll be honest. Because, like, what expectation did you have of Arsenal coming into last season? Wait. To compete for the league. What expectation did you have for Arsenal to compete for that league?
Yeah.
And then say you're one of the flops of the season for competing for the league?
I never even said one of the flop. I said the biggest flop of the season. So let me just rephrase myself.
Sorry.
I'm not even picking Leicester again this time around. I thought about a lot of things now. Some factors now that is bringing me back, that is changing my mind back, not from Leicester to Arsenal. Arsenal is the biggest flop of the season. Let me tell you the reason why. A reasonable team or a good team that is ready or playing well the way they were playing at the beginning of the season will not go to that point and lose the table. My brother, do you know the difference? Do you know the point difference between Man City and Man City and Arsenal. You play against Liverpool, 2-0 down. Liverpool came back. They equalized. Southampton, the same thing. West Ham, the same thing. Imagine they played 4 consecutive matches, lose and draw.
Okay,
and you are telling me
okay,
they're a sorry. Arsenal is the biggest flop of last season.
Let me just say something.
As I'm talking to you, that will never happen to Chelsea.
Okay, Shehu, hang on. Let Franklin come in here.
Okay, what's happened is, why I will dispute that is, when season started, people were predicting their top 4. Nobody predicted Arsenal in top 4. What Arsenal did last season was so surprising to everybody.
It was a miracle.
It was a miracle because coming to what you say, coming to your point, Liverpool have experienced it twice in the hands of Man City. Even to the point that they lost it on the last match of the season. Liverpool, they have experienced it twice. So saying that, they have been holding on to the top at a time they now flopped. It's not a good reason.
And how does wait? How does the word flop come about? It comes from having expectation.
Yes.
At the beginning of the season,
yes.
you have your expectations
About the team.
and there, no one expected us to be top 4. Like he said, let me finish what I'm saying now. No one expected him to be top 4 at the end of the season. So there's no way you can come and say the biggest flop when someone that was predicted to be probably finish ahead of us. Were you predicted to finish ahead of us? Were you? After spending how much you spent, were you? Were you?
You are still
No. I'm asking the question. Were you?
Okay, please.
Chelsea wasn't predicted to finish ahead of Arsenal last season.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, exactly. That's my question. And now, won't you call that a flop? For you to have finished not even in top 6, usually they call them the big 6. The big 6 clubs.
Yes.
But not to finish even in 6th. Not to even finish in 10th. But to finish in 12th.
Yeah.
I rest my case.
Okay, all right. Let's hold it there, right? So we're saying for Gozier, he's saying it's Chelsea. For Franklin, it's Chelsea. Sheun initially said it's Leicester, but now he's pulled back his words and he said it's Arsenal.
Yeah, 100%
All right.
Arsenal.
Okay, let's hold our thoughts there. That's our opinion as your presenters for our audience this evening. But for you who is watching us this evening, who was your flop of last season in the Premier League? Who was your flop of last season? Which team was a team that you expected much from, but they didn't live up to the expectation? Can you put it in the comment box? Just let us know what your own thought was. All right. Okay. Listen, ladies and gentlemen, again, I would like to ask us now, which team in the Premier League last season surprised you the most positively? I mean, a team you were not expecting to, achieve what they achieved. From nowhere, they just hit it high up there. They did very well. They blew your mind. Which team in the Premier League last season would you say surprised you the most? So we've looked at the flops. Want to look at the surprising team. The team that came and from nowhere just surprised you the most. Which team would you say it was last season? Because
I'll say it's between two teams.
It's
between two teams.
Okay.
It's between Arsenal and Newcastle. It's between Arsenal and Newcastle. Because Newcastle, you can say, for me, my one is Arsenal. Like, it's Arsenal because these owners we've had them for a long time. And we've had bad notions of them. So, the fact that they got Jesus and Zinchenko wasn't going to cover the past years of bad management that they've had on the club. So, I'll say is Arsenal because for Newcastle, the owners came in. These Arab people, they spend a lot of money.
Yeah.
So you already knew at some point, definitely, they are the richest owners in football.
Yeah.
They are basically the richest owners, but definitely in the Premier League. Let me not say in football, but definitely in the Premier League, they are the richest owners. Yeah, probably in football, maybe in Europe.
In football.
Yeah. You can say they're the richest owners. So you can't you knew at some point definitely these people are going to hit. But still, for the fact that you have to give props to Eddie Howe for the management like he had for that team. Because if you look at the team, if you look at the team individually, you will be like, yeah, but this player is not meant to be playing in the Champions League. Like, this person is not someone you see in the Champions League. But the cohesive team he's trained together, he's brought out the best in each and every one of them, developed them to that point. But I'll say it's Arsenal because, like, firstly, we finished, the past few seasons, we finished 8th, 5th.
Yeah.
So for you to jump from there, 5th, and really push for second, like, we, as I said, we topped the league for more days. I think they were showing something on Sky Sports where they said Arsenal topped the league for how many days? Like, I think it was like triple figures, while I think Man City's went like double figures, like the amount of days, probably like 20-something days. Man City topped the league. Arsenal topped the league for way longer than that.
Yeah.
Like over 100, probably like 200 and some 100 and something days. So that's to show how much it was a domination to an extent, but coming to the end of the season, I'd say we capitulated at the end of the season.
Okay.
But yes.
Okay. So for Gozier, it's Arsenal, which I'm not surprised to hear because he's repping them anyway. So, all right, Sheon.
Yeah, I would have loved to pick West Ham because of their achievement last season.
Okay.
For a team like West Ham to have gone to UEFA Conference Unity Cup and won, it's actually a very big achievement to them. So I think, to me, I would have loved to pick Newcastle, but I felt like they spend a lot of money. So I'm looking at it from the financial aspect of it.
Okay.
So I won't pick them. I think I'm picking West Ham because West Ham have really done well last season, and everybody can testify to it. Like, they've done pretty well last season. You know,
in Europe.
Yeah,
you talk about Premier League.
locally.
Yeah,
Where
it depends on the question. Because if you're talking about in the Premier League, they were bad in the Premier League.
Yeah, because
But if you're talking about their season as a whole,
their season, that's the question.
okay,
Yes. Last season.
you can then say West Ham.
Because I for a team like West Ham, and I think the reason why they performed bad, they performed woefully in the Premiership was because they were concentrating more on the UEFA Unity Cup. So I think that is one of the reasons why they were able to, flop in the Premiership and play well in the UEFA. And the UEFA is actually more bigger because no way they can come and win the Premiership. You know that.
Of course.
So they knew what they are doing. They concentrated they focused their attention on a particular league, and they did so well, pretty well, and
and got the trophy.
brought people like Rice. Don't worry, we are going to cook right this season.
All right, Franklin.
Okay, I know most of us will not agree with me, but Arsenal tried, Newcastle tried, but I would say the most impressive club for me last season, forget about sentiment, forget about fan, I would say it's Man City. Because the achievement last season is what they have been dying for. Because it's just like it's only one man that has done it in Premier League, taking up that treble. It's only one man that have done it, and it has stand for him alone.
Alex Ferguson.
Yes, Ferguson. Only him has done it, and they have charged Man City. Okay, if you have been good in silverwares, why can't you go in Europe and conquer golden wares? This one, they have challenged them a lot. They have tried to be there, but finally they are now there. So for them to make that treble, for their signings to be that great, it was because I would say the most successful person last season was Haaland. The most successful player last season was Haaland because he broke a lot of records. He just came in, adapt to the tactics, get himself into the Premier League, and push on. Even though he's a player that he knows his strength, he knows his weakness. He knows that he cannot come and start from behind, dribble 8, dribble 4, dribble 6 to score goal. He will just position himself where he's supposed to be. And that's why he always sees goal. And having people behind him like Gundogan, De Bruyne makes every work easier for him.
So did Man City surprise you? What they achieved last season?
Yes, I would say they surprised me because for them to have taken up that treble is a big surprise because they have been playing in Champions League for how many seasons now? They have went to final twice now, but they have not lifted the trophy. But for them to maintain that still maintain that strength in the FA Cup, in the Premier League, and still used it, even when they had issues in the final of a Champions League. But they still held onto that one goal and won it. It's a very big surprising thing, because that the way I was shouting, I was even thinking maybe my neighbors will report me to the to the landowner so that they will come and find me.
Franklin. To be honest with you, you said it earlier that you don't want to talk with sentiment. You just did. To be very serious, and I will tell you the reason why I said yes. You just did. You know, your comment is very sentimental. The reason is because this is Man City. They've got all the materials at their disposal to win whatever they want to win. As a last season, everybody can testify to it, including yourself. From their keeper Ederson to the top man Alan. No Man City player can be taken out. Like you can't look at them anyhow. You can't underrate them. All their players are superb. So tell me why. What are you expecting from them? If not, please. What are you expecting from them? If not the Champions League? And don't forget, this is the team that has been to final consecutively. And what happened to them? They lost. Are you expecting me that they will get to the final last season and still lost again? That will be the biggest shame, the biggest disgrace ever in football history.
Okay.
Sorry. You can't pick Man City.
Coming to that.
You can't pick Man City.
Coming to that.
No. You don't pick Man City.
Sorry.
I would prefer you to go and beat people things like Napoli.
Sorry.
Franklin, feedback. Yeah.
Coming to that. We keep on saying Man City has everything. They have this one. They have this one. What then can we talk about PSG? What then can we say about PSG? Because PSG, I believe they still have players, and Man City is a
manager.
Club. Sorry.
The manager.
Sorry. Man City is a club
the manager.
that even if you are not that good, you will enter, and the good ones will overshadow you. Not that all those players, they are extremely good. Man City players, all of them, they are not that good, but they have this pattern. They have this formation that this one, once you are there, even if when you make any mistake, because sometimes Rodri used to make mistake. He used to make mistake even when a company was there. He's master of mistakes. So even as of that, in everything they will still cover you. So Man City is just, I will say, all credit goes to Guardiola, because he was one that brought them up like that. So everybody see Man City as they have everything. They have even when at a time Man U had everything. At a time, should I say Liverpool had everything? But what did they do with it? So not that they have everything, but what can you achieve with what you have?
Yeah. Okay. What I'll say to support that is that it's one thing having everything on paper, and it's one thing doing it on the pitch. Those are two different things. On paper and on the pitch, those are two different things.
Okay.
But I'll say it's not really a surprise. It's not really, and I'll say the treble is a surprise. The treble, because the treble is the treble.
That's the treble I'm talking about. It's not about the Premier League. I'm talking about the treble.
The treble as a whole is that one's a surprise. But I would say the Champions League isn't really a surprise, because we all knew going into this season that trophy, City would rather give up the league and win that Champions League.
Which they did not.
Which they did not. I know, but they would rather if they were putting no. If they were look at the back and then comments. The back and then comments again.
If you say they almost did, that means there should be a time they have to bench their best players. Even De Bruyne played all the matches, unless when he was partially weak. That was when they rested him.
Okay, gentlemen, let's just hold it there, right? So everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Yeah. I mean, for Franklin, it's Man City. That's his opinion. So let's leave it for him. So for Gozier, it was Arsenal, and for Shane, it was West Ham. Okay. All right. So for you, our audience watching us this evening, who was the team that impressed you the most in the Premier League last season? Put it in the comment box, please. Let's know what you're thinking about that last season's performance. Okay. I'm going to push us forward now. I'm going to look at something very quickly. The new season is coming, and the preseason is already ongoing. I watched a match early this morning, and I saw what some team did. I don't want to mention the team's name, but the preseason is ongoing, and some are losing, some are winning. I understand it's preseason, so you can't really judge how a season would look by what's happening in the preseason. But even at that, I still would want teams to, make a good impression of themselves in the preseason level. But going into this new season that will be starting in August, I would like to ask us a question. Which team in England do you think would win the Premier League this new season that's coming? Which team are you thinking? This is where I would like you not to be sentimental, right?
Thank you for that, sir.
This is where...
No, you're not winning it.
Okay, and before you answer this question, I'd like you to bear something in mind, that some teams that did well last season have sold some good players. Okay, bear that in mind. Look at it, acknowledging the fact that some teams have new players, some have sold some good ones, some are still training up some new ones. Keep that at the back of your mind as you make your comments. But then, you audience who is watching us this evening, I'd like you to put it in the comment box, please. Which team do you think would win the Premier League in this new season that will be starting in August? Which team are you thinking would win the Premier League? All right, gentlemen, let me start with Franklin. Franklin, which team are you going for?
Okay, the season is about to start, and should I say it's still somehow early to conclude because transfer market is still on. Some teams will still have to buy more players. But as it stands now, they say we should not be sentimental.
Yeah.
So I will still have to pick the people that have been doing it.
Okay.
I'll still have to pick them because...
Tell us your reason why, yeah.
Reason why is because they have been doing it, they will continue to do it. Because what they have last season... No, what they have last season, they still have it. At least, okay, if you come to the aspect of some people leaving, yes, some people might have left the club, but if you still check, without those people, they can still survive.
So are you talking of Man City now?
Yeah, I'm talking about Man City.
Man City, okay.
Because we can say, maybe you say Gundogan because he contributed a lot last season. Mahrez, he spent most of last season on bench. So you will not just count him as
at the critical part of the season, he played that.
Yes.
I'll just say that.
Mostly your FA. Mahrez single-handedly won the FA for you. Don't forget, my brother.
Yes. No. I'm not saying he's a good player. In fact, I was not happy without his move. I love that guy because he's a man that can come in, pressure defense. That in fact, if you get in one-on-one, you are lost. Because he will just make sure you lie down where he will leave you there.
Has Bernardo Silva left the club now?
No,
he's still there.
He's still contemplating.
Okay.
And that Bernardo Silva is someone that if that guy should leave, Man City will sweat some parts of their face because the guy in fact, most of Man City players, they're actually good.
Also want to comment. Okay, let's hang on. We have a call. This is actually our pastor calling in. So let's hear what he has to say. Oh, it's cut. Okay. We lost the call. Pastor, please feel free to call back. And we'll be happy to take your comment. Okay, Franklin.
So, as I was saying, with what they still have that muscle to continue doing what they have been doing before. So, I'll still go with Man City. Even though Arsenal bought a Rice. But let's see how it goes. We'll cook them now, but let's see how it goes.
Okay, the call is back again. Hello, good evening, Pastor.
Am I on to GCC Sport Hour?
Yes, you are. Feel free to make your comments.
Okay, please let me make my comment. Somebody's talking about Chelsea being the flop of the season. I totally disagree. I know Chelsea makes a couple of problems by sacking a professor and come and employ a grade 2 sitter to coach the team. That was a mistake. But above all, somebody was talking about the prediction, what they say, the prediction before the season started. It doesn't matter. Arsenal were there. They were in the race. They lost in all the competition, all the cups. They lost. They lost in Europa. They lost in Carabao Cup. They lost in FA Cup because they want to win the league. For them to, at that minute, to now lose the league, I think they are the biggest flop ever.
Like I said,
Football club ever. And every Arsenal fan should be ashamed of themselves. By celebrating second. Second, to do what? In fact, Man U finished better. They have a better season than Arsenal because they have something to show for that season. At least they have a cup to show for it. And they are champions as well. If Arsenal go to win Champions League, and to make it worse, they wasted 1.5 million on Declan Rice. Declan Rice to do what? For them to come and win the Champions League, they won't do anything. I think Arsenal fans should put their hands in their face and cover their face in shame because they're the biggest flop ever seen. If Chelsea get to that, Chelsea can go to that position and lose that cup to anybody. It's not possible. We are Chelsea.
Pastor, an Arsenal fan wants to ask you a question.
Yeah.
Yes, ask me.
I think there's a sprinkle of jealousy there, just a little bit. There's a sprinkle of it, I think, because
we don't jealous failure.
Because if we're talking about failure, like if we're being honest, at least we're in the conversation for things.
Yeah.
At least we were even in the conversation. How won't it be Chelsea that weren't in the conversation and you're a big team? A big team has to be in the conversation.
See, what you don't understand about football, there's only one conversation in football. Yeah. It's either you win or you lose. See, let me tell you. Can you make sure you can make sure the Champions League winners all over 10 years? Can you remember the people that came second in second Champions League over the years? We don't remember the second. Second are failure. Silva is not the everybody is going for the goal. We can't remember after finishing second this league. They failed. They drew 2-2 with Liverpool. They 2-2 with West Ham. In fact, they lost to Brighton at home. They lost to Nottingham Forest at home. That's a shame. What a club that want to win the league. That is not how to go about it. If Chelsea find ourselves in that position, we will not lose to anybody.
Thank you, sir.
So Arsenal is the biggest flop. It should do the capital letter that Arsenal failed. God bless you. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Pastor, thank you for calling in.
Obviously, had it been in Chelsea,
I feel he's speaking based on.
Frankly, Basti already commented, said it was Arsenal. So I'm guessing he wants to support his opinion.
All right, yeah. Hello. I can see it's Basil calling in. Basil, are you all right?
Yeah, I am. Good evening, guys.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening.
Why did you have to ask if it was?
Yeah, how can we help? Yeah, what have you got to say?
I just want to say the fact that Arsenal is winning this year. It's not a question of how you can help me.
Okay, what do you want to say? What's your comment?
That Arsenal is winning the league this year. That's all you guys need to know.
Is it in England?
Okay. Fantastic.
We have to say one or two things about what Baja just said. I think a call is coming in, so let's just pick the call first.
Okay, we'll have another call from yeah. All right. Yes.
Yeah. Good evening.
Yeah, who's on the line?
Yeah, my name is Nifemi.
Hello, Nifemi. You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How have you been?
Yeah, very well. Thank you. Okay.
Thank you for calling in.
Thank you for calling in. You are live now. Just make your comment, yeah?
Yeah, I just want to comment on the impression of teams last season. I think, like it was said earlier on Italian teams, they really impressed me. You know, the way we saw Inter Milan play in their league, Napoli, AC Milan, Roma. So, you know, they really played well. And I just think it was unfortunate that they didn't win one of those European competitions. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, fantastic comment. Thank you very much, Nifemi. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Okay. God bless.
Yeah, just like I was about to say before Nifemi call came in.
Yeah.
I've said it earlier, Gozie. If you be very honest, Pastor have said it all. No runner up in football competition. It's either you are the winner or not.
Why do we remember that Man City have gotten so close to winning the Champions League, and we expect them to get to that stage again? Why do we expect them to get to that stage again? Isn't it because they've gotten there before?
Yeah.
So should we brush aside like it never happened? It happened. That's why we expect them if they get to that position, to win it with the addition of Haaland there, with Haaland being there.
But the reason why Arsenal, the failure of Arsenal failure was actually not because they did strive to fail. I don't know, maybe you get what I mean. Like, Arsenal failed because they flopped. Let me explain one thing to you. You see, Arsenal as a team, the time they were meant to play was the time they were losing. The time they were meant to win was the time they were losing. So which big team will be losing at that point, at that very delicate point? You are talking about the fact that at least they are in the conversation. Forget about conversation, bro. You are a loser. Nothing like conversation in this matter. The difference between Chelsea, like I said earlier, and Arsenal was just that Arsenal is going to Champions League this season. Chelsea is not going. You lost in the FA Cup. You lost in the Champions League. You lost in the EPL that you are almost at the peak of winning. You lost in everything. So what are we talking about? Like I said, Arsenal is the biggest flop of
Can I just come to what he said? Can I just come to what he said? He said that basically what I have to say concerning that is that Arsenal now, coming into this new season now, the players we've added are winners. Like you said, West Ham was your team that surprised you the most. And we added their captain, who is their leader, who helped them win an European trophy, didn't he? So we are adding a winner, right? And we are getting Jurriën Timber, who has won the league consecutively with Ajax, who have also been doing well in Europe. And we've added Havertz, who scored in the Champions League final. That's the biggest stage ever to actually score a goal. And he scored it against who? The reputable Manchester City. So what can we say about that now? The treble winners. The treble winners.
Okay.
So, like, basically, you can see that you can't just look at us and write us off and say, yeah, they won't do it. Come on, this coming season, Arsenal, leave them alone. They won't do it. We are in the conversation as well.
According to what Pastor said, he said that had it been it was Chelsea wouldn't have made that mistake. But let's still remember, I keep saying, let's still remember the people that are playing the ball. Because, yes, they have a lot of experienced players in Chelsea, both Champions League and Premier League. They have experienced players there. So, but these people, they haven't been there. And checking at your back, seeing people that are chasing you, those people, they are so mighty. That their presence alone can put fear in your body. So I'm not trying to dispute what you are saying, but I'm still trying to give you some things to consider when picking Arsenal. Because Arsenal, my own is nobody expected that from them. Had it been this season, oh God.
Okay. Gentlemen, let's just hold it there because I think we've moved beyond that discussion now. So what we are looking at now, our audience, feel free to also comment. What we're looking at now is in this new season that will be starting in August, which team do you think would win the Premier League? Which football club do you think would win the Premier League? So Franklin have rightly said for him, in his own opinion, it would be Manchester City Football Club. Okay, for Gozier, which team are you going for next season?
I'll go for Arsenal if I'm being honest.
What do you expect? What do you expect?
I'll go for Arsenal.
What do you expect for?
Also remember that maybe because you are thinking that you have gotten a decline or you have gotten this one, you have gotten. It's not much that they will still come and do exploit as they have been doing, because they might face a lot of challenges that might not, because the focal point this season is on rise. Because for Arsenal to waste, I call it waste, because had he been as a Wenger, he wouldn't have made such mistake.
Okay,
guess who?
Let him justify his reason.
Yeah, to what he said, guess who we have behind Rice? Or guess who we have to compete with Rice for that defensive midfield position? It's Thomas Partey. So there's really no...
Which is about really to leave. I don't know whether people are still about
and there's
to
Jorginho. There's Jorginho.
There's news from Fabrizio Romano, who is a reputable source. He says Partey is more likely to leave, hence why Arsenal are pulling out of the Romeo Lavia race. Liverpool are more likely to get Lavia now due to Partey being ready to stay now.
Yeah.
So adjust on that. But as I was saying, it's Arsenal because, as I alluded earlier, we've added winners. We've added winners now, and something we didn't have was quality in depth. and one key player that injured last season was not even Jesus, because Nketiah kind of held us up last season. Scored 2 against Man.
He held the middle of
and
the
all
park.
that. Yeah, so he held us. We also
Yeah,
brought
yeah.
in Trossard. He helped in he got, I think, double figures in assists.
Yes.
I mean, in January, double figures in assists. So yeah, there's that. And also, sorry, what I wanted to say was, as I was saying, for the main player that injured who held us back was Saliba.
Saliba.
Saliba getting injured, we didn't have quality in depth last season for that position.
There was holding.
Because come on now. See, there's only one player at Arsenal
Yeah.
that I feel is one of the worst I've ever seen, and one of them is Holding. If I'm being honest, he's alongside the likes of Mustafi, Maguire, all those people. Please, no, not Holding, please. So
He was not holding
and
anything.
what happened was, like, if also Tomiyasu stayed fit for us. Tomiyasu is someone who, like, 2 seasons ago, like, he was our main right back, then Ben White was our centre back. What we would have simply done was, as Saliba went out on injury, if Tomiyasu was fit, bring Ben White back to his usual centre back position, and Tomiyasu fits in there at right back, and we continue going as we're going. But who did we have? Rob Holding. You know, he's not as calm on the ball. Usually, what happens with us, we start a build-up from Saliba. So when Saliba gets the ball, he's able to calm everybody down. He exudes that
He's a good
presence of
organizer.
calm. Like, he exudes that calm, like, all through the team. So if they can give the ball to him, because they know he will recycle it and feed it to the right players to progress the ball up the pitch. So that's what Saliba does for us. And bringing in Timber. Timber is a very, very good player. Ajax and Arsenal, we have a similar style of playing. So that kind of quality in depth will help us kick on in should I say title race. We don't know what will happen this season, but as I'm saying, we are more likely to win the league than. And I'll say for City are the obvious people to go for, but obviously you definitely have to replace marriage. You can't say we can go on as we're going, because you've won the treble. I'm sure you want to try and the next stage now is to try and say, oh, we want to win 2 trebles in a row. Because there's nothing higher than a treble. You can't go lower than
just
that.
hang on.
So you either have to stay on that level or higher. Was either a quadruple or a treble. That's what you literally have to be going for now. Because the bar is only high.
Okay. So for Franklin, just hang on, Franklin. Franklin says Man City. Gozier says Arsenal.
Yeah.
Let's hear what Sheun has got to say. Okay. Which football club are you going for next season to win the league?
I'm actually looking at the two of you arguing about your teams and talking about the fact that Man City, Arsenal. Next season is going to be like a shock to everyone. Next season is going to be like a shock to everyone.
Next season.
Oh, I thought you said Chelsea is going to be like a shock.
Yeah. I'm coming there. Let me land.
Okay. I just wanted to.
Let me land. Next season is going to be like a shock to everyone, like I said. Because now, Arsenal believe they've got all what they want to win the league. And let me remind you something. When an English player, I mean a proper English player, rise to the top of their peak and leave a club to another club, they always go to that club and flop. In the light of Maguire, he was at the top of his
Maguire.
Harry Maguire or whatever. The Arsenal, the
Man U
defender. He was at the peak of his career then, doing pretty well, doing so good.
In
He
Leicester.
thought we are moving from Leicester to Man U, come and add up to the team. He got to Man U, he became a third striker to
The opponent.
He became a striker to his opponent, scoring against his own team. In fact, let me tell you one of the reasons why the GI is leaving Man U, not because he wanted to leave, but because he was tired of Maguire. He knew the fact that they are not ready to sell the guy at this point. And this guy is tired of, his own team, his own player, teammates scoring against him. He's very tired of it. If you give Maguire a ball, he's going to place back or just do something worse. So, in the case of Rice, we are going to chop Rice. to be very serious.
We'll see.
Sorry, let me just land. Don't think because you've got a player like Rice and you've got Rice is good. He was at the peak of his league, of his career as at last season, at the end of last season. But don't forget he's an English player. They got tired easily. And with buying players like Jorginho, Kai Havertz, I don't see them to be like an added advantage.
A miracle worker.
Like a miracle worker added to Arsenal. But you see Timber, yeah, I can actually appreciate Timber because I've watched some few of his clips of his match, see how the guy has been doing so well.
Yes.
So I think Timber is like a good player to be.
Why not Jorginho though? Because Jorginho is someone who has started. No, wait.
He was
no,
in
he's
my
someone.
team.
He's someone who.
He was in my
he's
team,
someone-
and I know what
He is someone. He's not going to be our main starter. He was your main starter, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was.
Exactly, but he's not going to be our main starter. We have two people ahead of him already. We have Partey, we have Rice. So those are two people that are already started ahead of him. We are not in the same predicament like you people were with Jorginho.
Don't worry.
What
Let me
he will
just
bring to us is experience. That's why he was brought in. Arteta prioritized experience over young players. Like Mudryk, you guys beat us over Mudryk.
Yeah.
Because he's younger, but we wanted Premier League experience. So we brought in Trossard from Brighton. So his experience we're looking for. And we've also brought in Jorginho for experience as well in January to try and get us through, to manage certain games. Trossard really helped us. Jorginho helped us to an extent. He didn't play as much games, so obviously Partey was still fit. So Partey was kept on playing. But I'll say it's the experience that he brings to us, yeah.
Yeah. Just in my only two conclusion, you see, it seems like I've watched a bit of the preseason.
Yeah.
And team like Chelsea is doing pretty well. Like they're very, to be very serious, team like Chelsea is doing pretty well.
In preseason.
Sorry,
This
sorry,
preseason,
that's
I mean.
preseason.
Yeah, I
because
said
preseason is quite different from season.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. Preseason. I know what I'm
Okay.
talking about.
The only comment, the only praise I can give to that is that the way you start well to try and finish well. So preseason is a good way to start well. Because
Yeah.
Arsenal, what happened to us last preseason was that we played all our games. We pretty much won
almost
our
all the
pre-
preseason
we won
list-
pretty much all our
yeah.
preseason games.
Yeah.
And that was how we went into the season firing. Teams were like, damn, like Arsenal might be a team that like will really surprise a lot of people. So
So
Okay.
I think I'm going to pick Chelsea. I think I'm going to pick
Okay,
Chelsea. And,
okay.
I don't want to be sentimental, just like the way Frank was saying.
No, you picking Chelsea
Let him
is
finish.
quite being sentimental.
Let him finish. Let him say his reason.
Frankly, I think I don't want to be sentimental just the way you've been saying. And to be very candid, Chelsea have got this kind of young, talented players presently now more than any Premiership team. You've got a lot of players from the midfield to the defense to the top front players, and most of the players like Nkuku. You know, the guy was in the Italian league and he was doing so pretty well.
Leipzig,
German-
isn't
okay,
it?
yeah,
Ja-
German
German
league.
league, yeah.
He was doing so pretty well in the league. Then he came back to Chelsea now. The experience he has gathered there is bringing it back. And then, you know, I think he was one of the highest goal scorer last season in German
Germany.
league. In
Yeah.
Bundesliga. So now imagine someone like that is back in his own team, his real team. He's going to do pretty well. He's going to do very good.
There's Jackson.
So, and we
there's-
just got
So
we have
okay,
Jackson.
okay.
Yeah.
Is,
We
are you
have
people building on Nkunku now?
No,
That are-
don't misquote me. I'm just using Nkuku as a reference.
And Jackson doesn't really have. There's not enough sample size from his past to say, yeah, this guy will keep on banging.
Blow it.
He's banged in preseason, but
No,
what are
actually,
we talking about here?
Jackson
Because
is
he
good in
said- because the
preseason.
way he said we have Jackson. Yeah, you have Jackson. What has he really done? We don't really know much about him.
Yeah, he's coming to do something, so he's coming for you guys to know him. You know him next season.
We'll see.
We don't need to talk much. We know him next season.
No. Coming to that,
Okay.
it's not must that you must be famous before you can create a record, because actually, before Man City signed Sane, nobody have heard of Sane before.
Yeah.
Nobody knew Sane before. So many of them. So actually, the guy is good in preseason, but let's see how good he will be in Premier League.
Yeah, well,
I'm picking Chelsea ahead of next season.
okay, to win the league next season.
To just
Okay.
make miracle.
Okay.
I've said
Okay.
it all. It's going to be like a shock to you guys. Just like nobody's expecting Arsenal last season. All Arsenal fans can say it, to be frank. Nobody was expecting Arsenal where they were. Where they got to last season, nobody expected them. And now, it's going to be almost
Let me
the same thing for Chelsea.
let me twist this question. Ladies and gentlemen, our audience, feel free to make your own comment. Which team are you going for to win the league next season? But I want to twist the question around a little bit. We've mentioned 3 teams here now. For next season, are we agreeing, together here that the 3 teams you guys have mentioned are going to be part of the top 4 next season? Or is there going to be a team amongst the 3 teams mentioned here which might not make it to the top 4 next season? Do you think? Bear in mind that there are teams like Liverpool, there's Manchester United, there's Newcastle, there's Aston Villa, there's Tottenham. Okay.
Yes. That's exactly what I wanted to say now, because there are 2 big teams you're discounting. Liverpool are really going to come back this season. Like, that Szoboszlai and McAllister, those 2 players they got will really be game changers for them.
And Luis Diaz is
he's
back.
back from his injury spell. And I think Fabio might go to
Saudi.
he has basically gone. So they're looking to bring in Romeo Lavia. He was very good, even being in Southampton. He was a standout player in Southampton. Hence why they are holding out for like £50 million for him. So that's I'll say for me, my top 4. I'll give my top 4. My top 4 will be Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool, Arsenal, Man City. Probably between Manchester United and Liverpool, but I'll say that those are the 4 that I'll say would be top 4.
Arsenal first, Man City second.
Then either between
Liverpool, Man U.
Between Liverpool and Manchester United.
Okay. Franklin, do you go for these 3 teams you guys mentioned? That's Man City, Arsenal, and Chelsea. Are they going to be part of the top 4 for next season? Do you think so?
For next season, if I'm to pick my top 4, obviously I will put Liverpool there, because it's true they started their season last season very awkward, but during the ending part, they
picked up.
They were very good. So I believe that with that form they picked, they will continue it with this season. So I will include them in my top 4.
Give us your 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, my 1, 2, 3, 4 is Man City.
Man City first.
Then I will put Arsenal. Then I will manage Chelsea at the.
Manage.
I will manage Chelsea, yes, because I cannot bet over Chelsea, because what they did last season was, so many people lost a lot of money because of Chelsea, which I lost a lot of money. I was among them because of Chelsea, so I cannot give them that credit again.
Okay.
So I'll just have to manage
Fair
them.
enough.
Then let's not forget Newcastle. They can do magic. So I will just pick Newcastle.
So you're kicking out Liverpool and Man United?
No,
because you just said.
Sorry, let me just pick Liverpool at the 4th. Let me just pick Liverpool at the 4th. You see, Man U, forget everything about Man U, because should I say there is a cause over Man U? No, I don't, because I've been thinking, why is it that Man U, upon all the things they have, okay, they will sign a good player, the player will come and flop. They sign Sanchez, the guy came and did another thing.
Garnacho.
They sign Maguire, they sign Sancho. So many players they have signed. So many players they have signed, they were performing well in their previous team, but they will come to Man U and they will just flop.
Okay.
So picking Man U is that is the Europa.
Okay, so you're going for Arsenal and Man City?
Man City,
Arsenal,
Chelsea, Liverpool.
Okay.
To me,
Sean.
to be very candid to me, is going to be a very tough season next season. Yeah, very tough, because the likes of Newcastle, they're really investing on the team now. So they're a factor to be reckoned with next season. So don't let us dispute that. The likes of Man U, just like you said, you can't, because of the fact that someone has a maybe alcohol record or past bad record.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be fine in next season. Man U is a team to be reckoned with in Premiership.
Anytime.
Come rain, come shine. The team is a very recommendable team in Premiership. And don't forget the fact that teams like Chelsea, like I said, building a big team now, building the team around the young talented player that we are just getting. So don't forget about that as well. So to me, if I'm to pick my first 4, I think I'm going to pick Chelsea first. Then I'm actually pick teams like Liverpool that you are not looking at. He has said a lot of things about the new guys they just signed now. Yeah. Those guys are brilliantly doing well. Like they are players that singularly can win
definitely
a league for a team.
Yeah.
So you can't just look at Man look at Liverpool and say. So for me,
So you are picking Liverpool second.
yeah, you pick your
Wait,
choice.
so who is
Let him
first?
finish. Let
I
him
just
finish.
pick Chelsea as the first team. I just pick
Okay.
Chelsea.
All right.
I just
So
pick Chelsea.
Chelsea first,
Yeah,
Liverpool
I'm picking
second,
Liverpool second. I'm picking Man U third.
Man U third,
And to be very candid with you, I think Man City will be the fourth.
fourth. So Arsenal.
Arsenal will come from Europa.
You just know that this is coming straight from emotion. It's just straight
Yes.
emotion.
No,
This is so sentimental.
I've
This
tried
is
to.
so- this is so sentimental because no.
On facts.
Yeah, I've tried to base it on fact, just
No,
like I said.
there's no fat in it.
A lot of fat.
Sorry, there's no fat
It's
in
his
it.
opinion.
Check even when Man City had no Haaland. Man City, I can't remember the last time Man City were fourth or even third on a table. I can't remember. Even at their worst time. You dashing them fourth.
So,
no,
remember-
it's your
See,
own
eh,
opinion.
see, Franklin,
Kicking Arsenal,
see,
kicking
Franklin.
Arsenal out of the top four is your own opinion. So
See, frankly, like I said, Arsenal was in first top team last season. Doesn't mean they can be next season. Don't forget that. Nobody picked them ahead of, or nobody picked them to be where they were last season. Rather, them being in tough at the second position in last season was actually not that they were expecting it. So all these teams I just mentioned, nobody is expecting what is going to happen next season. I've said it, like a lot of teams are actually investing on their players, on their teams. All the teams are coming out next season to do like set record, do something good, something brilliant, make themselves like get the trophy for themselves. So don't forget that all those teams, all the teams that we just mentioned, they are also teams. They have their 11s. Okay. They are coming to the pitch to play with the same Man City that you just said. Okay. So to me, you can't just because of the fact that Man City and Arsenal has dominated for the past. Sorry, Arsenal is not part of the dominant team. Don't because of the fact that Man City have been a dominated team, then they can still do it again. Don't forget, 10 years, 15 years ago, where was Man City? Where was Man City?
That was 10 years. No, that was 15 years ago. Even 10 years ago. Okay, calculate 10 years ago from till now.
Yeah, 10 years ago was when they started, when they got the like of Robinho.
Yes.
And so that was when they started their career. They started.
Okay.
Now becoming seventh, sixth on the table.
Okay, let's hold our thoughts right there. What I like about what we are saying now is that it's on record. Okay, so towards the end of the season, we're going to return back to this, to this.
Are you sure you want to still be here?
I would like to see it when the season starts. I would like to know.
Obviously, as Shehu has said that he will dash Man City fourth, he will kick out Arsenal. I will obviously want to meet with you at the end of the season.
There's a comment
Yes.
There's a comment on YouTube that
Okay,
Sosa 11 says Manchester City in fourth.
Yeah.
Sounds like a joke.
Yeah.
It's that one is obvious.
Yeah,
Something.
it might actually sound like a joke to you. Like I said, football is coming to a different dimension. Like I said, see, football is getting more developed than the way we expect. Like, to be very candid, all those teams, you can't just minus a team out of the league this season. In fact, this team, London, what was their name that just came from relegation that never even been to Premier. No, not Burnley.
Luton
FC that are coming to Premiership. I think the last time they were in Premiership was 3 years ago. So now Luton FC that are now in Premiership. I wish you should watch their match against Coventry FC. The final match that brought them
the
to
playoff.
The playoff. I wish you could see it. Those guys were really, really, really playing so well. They are playing with determination. They are playing as if they are coming to die. So don't forget about that. So see, what I'm trying to say is football is bringing a different dimension. Mostly in England. So it might sound like a joke, but like the moderator has said, at the end of the season we will recap this.
Yeah,
Yes.
Mr. Maker, as you said, this is on record.
It is, yes.
As is on record, I would like to say that Brighton will finish ahead of Chelsea.
That's another team to
this
consider.
season. This coming season, Brighton will finish ahead of Chelsea.
About Brighton and
You
that team did
see.
so well.
Don't worry. You see, Brighton will finish ahead of Chelsea. Already, I know Chelsea are not going to finich in the top four. I already know that.
Chelsea
No,
might.
no,
Chelsea, for me, I would say Chelsea might. It's under probability. They might. But still remember that there's something I want to still let you know. You know, when we talk about Man City, we are talking Man City as a team, not as a club. Because Man City, yes, we can say that their powerhouse is De Bruyne, but you will see even when De Bruyne is not there, they are still performing. Even when Gundogan is not there, they are still performing. Even when there's no nine, last 2 seasons when Aguero was injured, most of the season, throughout the season, he was injured. So nobody knew that Sterling, even though Sterling was a waste in that first nine, he used to waste chances. But he will swap Sterling. Even De Bruyne played 9. Even De Bruyne played 9. So there's something you will be thinking. Okay, even their preseason, they have been doing good. They have been winning. This guy is still making record. Haaland is still making. Unless you want to kick out Guardiola, Guardiola said he's no more coach. You will kick out all their first 11. That's when you will now have to say, okay, I will not trust Man City in top 4.
Okay, Franklin, let's hold our thoughts right there. Okay, so they've named their top 4s. For you, our audience, what's your own top 4? Do you agree with what Goze have said? Do you agree with what Sheun have said? I can see someone already disputed Sheun's proposal, but well, that's no. You know, one thing I like about it, it's live. You know, at the end of the season, we're going to come back to what people have said this evening, and we can, you know, relate to it and then discuss about that. And Franklin also gave his own top 4. Do you agree with Franklin's top 4? What's your own top 4 for next season in the Premier League? The last discussion I would like us to have before we call it an evening this evening is I want to talk about what's going on in Saudi Arabia. Gary Neville made a statement recently. Gary Neville spoke to the English FA and he told them that they need to stop that movement of players leaving England and going to Saudi Arabia. They should do all they could or all they can to stop it from happening anymore. Okay, now we've lost players like Cristiano Ronaldo, we've lost Benzema, we've lost Kante, we've lost Mendy, we've lost quite a number of reputable. Mahrez. Is Mahrez gone now? Mahrez is gone. Yeah. Fabinho gone there as well. Henderson in Liverpool is gone there as well. Okay, so we've lost quite a lot of key players from England going to Saudi Arabia. Now the question is, should the English FA ignore what's going on in Saudi and just carry on? Or do you see that having a damning effect on the football here in England? Franklin, do you want to start up?
Yeah, what I want to say is these people, they have interior motive. Because nobody knows what is going. It just started like a news and it just burst out. Because for them to even come to Mbappe, I heard that they met the management and told them that Real Madrid management that if they should allow Mbappe just for only one season, just to play one season with them, and they were what they offered Mbappe
700
million
euros in 1 year.
In one season. God, these people, they in fact, they have the money to spend. But I think there's something should be done about this because this thing is getting out of hand. A time will come, most of our well-known players will be hungering to leave to Saudi Arabia. And a time is coming when they will even request to be playing in a Champions League. Because as everything is going on, they just came with force.
Okay, yeah, Gozie.
Yeah, I'll say yes. Something definitely has to be done. I think there should be some sort of cap, or there should be some sort of cap on like how much they should be able to offer a player at any point. Like there should be some sort of cap in like say you can't offer higher than say. Let me say these days football you can see a lot of clubs offering 200K a week.
Yes.
Let me say put a cap on say 200K a week. You won't be able to something like that. Because yes, you can't go beyond that to offer contracts. Because that's a way of retaining players in Europe. Because in the long term, it could really imagine like in the long term you have maybe let me say for Arsenal you have someone like Saka. Let me say 3 years from now he'll be like 24, probably at his peak.
Yes.
Yeah, at 24, and they can come and offer him a crazy contract. and he'll be like, oh yeah, I will accept it and I'll go. A 24-year-old that's already representing England.
Yeah.
And I think these players as well should think about their international representation, because it's not a competitive league yet.
Yes.
It's not a competitive league yet. So what team will want to call you up? What country will want to call you up to come and represent the national team when they have other players playing in competitive leagues in Europe? You lose your chance.
Sorry, guys.
Yes.
We have a call. We have a call. Yeah. Hello. Who is on the line?
Yeah, Nifemi, I called previously a while ago.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm a Man United fan, but I think if I'm going to be critical with myself and brutally honest concerning the top four, I think Man City will be first. Second should be Liverpool.
Okay.
Third Arsenal, and fourth probably Chelsea or another team.
So
Yeah, so
who's your first again?
He said first,
Man City.
Man City. Okay.
Yeah, then Liverpool.
Liverpool.
Then Arsenal. I think Arsenal. Then Chelsea.
Mr. Nifen, why
Then
you not picking your team?
He knows his
I
team.
don't
He
just
knows his
think-
team.
I think we are lacking things that will push us further. Like we miss a lot of chances. Our forward, we create chances and we miss a lot of chances. And having that number 9 and also the depth, you know, it's important, because when we see how someone like Harry Maguire, not that I just dislike the guy, but he needs to lead the team and bring better people in to improve the depth. Or when you still have people like McTominay on the bench, they can't help you challenge for the title. So it's just the fact. So that's the thing. Maybe the top four they can still.
But you got
because-
Mount. Missing Mount.
Yeah, it's not enough. Yeah, we got missing Mount. He's a
you
good
got
player.
Evans too.
And you have Onana.
Onana.
And you
Who-
got
who-
Evans.
Johnny
Onana,
Evans.
You got
And,
Johnny
and Evans.
Johnny what? No, they signed Johnny Evans on a
6-month
on
deal.
a short term.
Yeah,
No, it's just for preseason. It's not for like a loan or like it's just preseason. It's not there. It's not going to start the season with us and end it with us. So we still need players. We are even struggling to get a striker right now, and we are really suffering in that area. So I think that will be the difference between us. And so if we want to actually qualify for the top four, I think we need forward. Because Martial is not a reliable person. I even think we don't ever have any striker.
Yeah,
Because no one
Nifemi.
knows that Martial
Nifemi.
is not-
Listen, we have a question for you.
What do you think of
Okay.
the possible transfer of Rasmus Højlund from Atlanta to Manchester United?
It's a tough one, to be honest, because they don't have any option. They are plan A for like Harry Kane, but if we are going to be realistic, they can't get Harry Kane. Neither can they get a striker like Osimhen because of the price. It's just going to be difficult. So, but the young talent they signed, I think is something for the future. He might come and start banging in the goals. I won't doubt that, but I don't think for someone young at that age, I don't think coming to the Premier League under that pressure, we just start like that. But don't forget, I said he might come and start and give us over the
Surprises.
expectations that we have. So I just think that will be the difference, because if you look at other teams, look at Liverpool, look at Man City, they are forward, Arsenal and Chelsea now having good forward players. That will just be the difference between my club and other teams.
So it's all about forward players now. Okay.
Yeah, it's about getting goals. That's what is pushing us behind as well.
Okay.
As well.
Okay.
At the midfield, but our priority is the striker position.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nifemi. Thank you for calling in.
At least they have signed the assisting keeper now.
Okay.
Onana.
We also have a comment from YouTube. I mean,
Yes.
as regards the different predictions, we have Jennifer Akang says, my top four is Man U, Arsenal, Liverpool, and then Chelsea.
City was not even a C.
Okay.
You guys are
understand.
no. It's
Thank
not
you,
by- it's not
Jennifer.
by you
Thank you
understanding.
for your
No,
comments.
it's their own thoughts.
Jennifer
It's their
is
own thoughts.
critically understand and try to devaluate or evaluate our own opinion before she
Yeah.
put it there. You get.
How do you mean?
Still
It's
remember.
not
Still
it's not
remember.
about,
Say-
it's not
what-
about
what-
devaluing the opinion. It's about have at least a fraction of like fact in it. Have a little bit of fact in it.
No,
Yeah.
no.
Come on.
The only thing.
You mean like Man City not being in top 4? Like
No,
Man City
like
is not
she-
in the
she
4
did
that
put
he
top,
just
Man
that she
City
just.
there.
No, there's no Man
Yeah,
City.
yeah,
top
that's
four.
what I'm saying. So have a
No,
little
she
bit
started
of
with
fact
Man.
Man
She said
U.
Man U, yeah.
He said
so
Man
there's
U.
no Man City there.
So-
There should be a little bit of fact in there.
Well,
But
it's
but
yes. We're going to come back to
we
all
say.
these opinions that where people are giving this
yeah,
evening at the end of the season, and we're going to look at it again
Yeah.
retrospectively,
Yeah.
and that's when we'll have to laugh a lot. But okay,
Yeah,
do
back
you
to
have
our
another? Okay, yes,
back to our initial conversation about
Saudi.
Arabia and,
Yes,
I'm going to oppose
the views.
Franklin and Goze's view towards the fact that they need to stop.
People going.
Yeah, people. No, not people. Stop Saudi coming to buy. Yeah, the movement. I want us to look at it from two different perspectives.
Okay,
The first one, you have to look at it from Saudi Arabia perspective. They have to develop their league too.
okay,
And the best way you can develop your league is by bringing in players. I mean players. When I say players,
Quality players.
quality players, international, well-known players, to open their league to the world market in football, to open their league to international football competition. Nobody knows Saudi Arabia Pro League earlier, proud before
Yes.
Ronaldo.
Yes.
I don't know, maybe anybody watched it, but me,
I never did.
I haven't. Not until Ronaldo was, Ronaldo movement to Saudi,
Saudi.
Arabia. So I think they are trying to promote their league. And the best, one thing about it is they use what they have to get what they need. So what they have is the money. And their need is to promote their league as well. They just don't want to be the Saudi Arabia that you know for oil and tourism, stuff like that. They want to be known for a different
Footballs.
thing. And that is how a developing or a developed nation works. Use what you have to get what you
want.
So
need.
you don't think
So-
it's a case of the highest bidder?
Yeah, I'm still going toward that side. I think for now that's the very perspective I'm looking at it from. Like they are trying to like develop and open their league to the world, let people see it. Then secondly, Saudi Arabia as a whole nation, they are a tourism country. Everybody know that. And I think they are trying to promote their economy through people coming in to watch football and buying ticket, paying, watching them, and all those things.
Yeah.
And like the Al Hilal or Al Ali or what's it called, the Ronaldo team.
Yeah.
All of
Al
them.
Nasser,
Al
Al
Nassr.
Nasser,
Al Nassr or something
Al
like that.
Nasser, yeah.
They were on 750K followers earlier before Ronaldo. The moment they signed Ronaldo, that very moment they signed Ronaldo, in less than 24 hours, their followers on Instagram, on Twitter, rose from 750,000 to 10 million. See the margin, see the wideness in just 24 hours. So those are what I think those are what they are trying to do. They are trying to open people
Draw the attraction.
of the world
Yeah.
to their sport aspect. And don't forget, of a recent, they just bought golf. Not the whole world golf is now under Saudi Arabia control. If you forgot, maybe you've never read about that. A whole golf. I mean the golf
Yes.
play, the game. Now it's now under Saudi Arabia affairs. They manage it now. They determine what happened in the golf club. Now
Championships.
everything that concerns golfs is under them. So I think what they are trying to do is just to open their country and the league widely, and as well
Globally.
as to promote their. I think this can happen to any country that has the money.
Okay, but the question.
But
Okay, yes.
So, in as much as we believe that they are building their own league,
Yeah.
we should not also forget the downside, what's going to do onto this other side.
Yeah.
Well, people can argue that it will probably open doors for some undiscovered talent, to come up. But, I mean, before they pick up eventually to take a toll on the team back home. That's
Yeah.
Do you want to be sorry? Do you want to be? I want to answer the question. Do you want to be factual with ourselves? European football today, the so-called European football today, they attracted other continents to be coming as the money.
Yeah.
All those countries they are looking at being your African clubs, Asian clubs, all of them have their own league back in their home. Why can't they stay back in their country and play their league? They came to Europe because they want the money. They came to Europe because Europeans are using their money to get what they want.
Yeah.
Now they've seen a
You have a
powerful-
point.
They've
You have a
saw-
point,
They've
yeah.
seen
Somebody
a
else has
stronger,
done it to them.
they've seen a stronger hand.
Oh my
that I think is bigger than them financially. They are scared.
Yeah,
Why?
well, no,
Let them
not-
open it up. Let them open it.
Okay.
It's not just the money though. It's also the prestige of European football. Like European football has been going on for how long now? It's the longevity. Like you know, like you've been known in your country for like I've played football in Europe. Like you've played it at a high level because that's a high level of football. What I'll say is I'm not saying they should absolutely stop the transfer of players from Europe going to Saudi Arabia, but what I'll say is the Premier League is not really a league that is in dire need of money. They're not in dire need of money. What I would advise, who am I to advise? But what I would advise,
You never know who is watching.
But what I would advise the Saudi Arabian clubs to do is to go to leagues who are in dire need of money. Italian Serie A. They really need money in that league. When they come for Premier League players, I think at the moment Inter are trying to get Balogun and they are struggling to muster up the money
Even
to try and get someone like that. But if they're selling their players, their reputable players to Saudi Arabia, that like they can now get enough money to go out there and get other players within Europe that they can. And another thing as well for Saudi Arabia is like now that they are getting these real star players, as you said, Ronaldo, they're getting Benzema, all those kind of people. Another thing now that they can do is try and recruit high level coaches, like coaches that can coach their academy, their youngest players within, like people who are brought up from their country.
They can get us
Like like coaches that can actually like for their academies try and improve their academies so that you have top players there, but not everything is about top players. What about how is the grassroots of football there? Like what are the young players? The young players, do they have that quality to also come into the team? How do they grow into the team? So they also have to invest in their academies as well. That's one thing they have to do, not just the star players.
All these started with Ronaldo when he went to Saudi. And if you check reason why he went there, it's not because of the money. He has the money. He just went there to be ending his career.
quietly.
So because of that, they got Ronaldo. So with that influence and with intimidation of their money, because I'm not saying they should stop buying players, but what I'm saying is, especially the English league, they should know what to do about that, because they are gradually losing their players. They are losing their league.
Okay.
Because
finally, Seun.
In a brief.
Finally.
Let me just say this in a brief. Just like he said, who actually gave European the crown of football world? It can shift to any place. It can go to Asia, can go to Africa. Depends on
How you play your game.
Put it like that.
you get.
Before
So,
it
sorry, let me-
can
my
move
conclusion
to
now is-
Asia, it will take decades.
He's starting now. He's starting now.
Because that's the thing. Like
He's starting now. So everybody believes
different
football is all
concept.
about Europe. Like when you talk about football, you are talking about Europe. That's the mentality. That's what we believe. But now it can take a different dimension. It can go to any other place.
Yeah.
So I think that is one of the motive of these Saudi Arabian people. I felt like that, but I'm not sure. But I'm just thinking.
That's
within my
what
own
they
mind,
like.
that's one of-
Different continents have different sports they usually go for. People in Asia, they mostly like cricket. That's the sport that they're known for. If you're talking about cricket, it's them. It's them and it's them. Like it's them.
Yeah.
So like there are certain things that you can't just say it will shift to Asia. It's not their culture. It's not really in their culture. But in Europe, it's a culture. It's not just the football, it's a culture. Like that's the way it is.
It's just like America now saying that basketball
Yeah.
will shift
Yeah.
from America to maybe to Nigeria or
I
Africa,
never
and just
said-
like that.
No,
Okay.
No,
I
it's
just
just
felt-
as
all right.
I just
instance.
felt like that.
Okay, gentlemen, we're going to leave that debate out there for you, our audience. Feel free to put in your comments and let's see and hear what you think about that. Why the Saudi Arabian guys are doing what they are doing? What is your thought about that? Should we allow this to keep going on, or do you think if we should allow this to carry on, that England or the European football could get to a point where it will start affecting them negatively if it hasn't started already. What do you think about that? Put it in the comment section and we'll be able to, interact with that later on. But this is where we are calling it an evening on this show today. It's been an interesting show this evening. Thank you for every one of us who called in, those who commented. We appreciate you. We give you a round of applause. A digital hug to you. Thank you for making us feel as though we are not wasting our time right here live on this show. Okay, so this is what we're going to be calling it an evening this evening. But don't forget that this show was brought to you by Jubilee Christian Center, Coventry, RCCG, the House of Prayer. We also talk about sports and not just spiritual affairs. All right, that's why we are calling it an evening. And from every one of us here in the studio this evening, we are saying good evening. See you next week.
Thank you.
Like, share, and subscribe.
Yes, like, share, and subscribe. Yeah, I will see you next week, same time.